Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And before we do dive into today's stories, I just want to say a huge thank you to the members, Patreons, and everyone just for your time for being involved. And let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from a deleted user who says, I've fallen in love with the husband of the woman my husband is cheating on me with. I'm so sorry there are a lot of errors in the title and text. While I think my English is pretty awesome, it's not perfect, so sorry for any confusion. This is going to be a long post. We'll do my best to make it short. I found this sub on a podcast. Maybe I can find comfort about what's been weighing me down for almost a year now. I'm female 36 and my husband is male 38. We've been together for 10 years. We have one daughter who's female 6. She's everything to me. I found out a year ago that my husband is sleeping with his employee, female 30. How? Her husband, let's call him Jay, male 35, contacted me. He was heartbroken and he thought I ought to know. He provided me with text messages and dates when they've been in hotels. I recognized my husband's style and I recognized the other woman. I've seen her on multiple occasions when I visited my husband at work. She's been nothing but kind and pleasant towards me, and she always doted on my daughter. I asked Jay what he wanted to do, and he said he wasn't sure yet, so I requested that we should meet. He agreed. I told him about my life and that I'm not currently working after the pandemic and I lost my job, and now the economy, I haven't really had an opportunity to find a job. Instead, I've been studying these past 2 years. If I divorce now, I won't be able to provide for my daughter. That would probably put her in my husband's custody as a primary provider. I asked him if he could wait for a few months, hopefully longer, and to my surprise, he agreed. I thanked him profusely, but he told me that he didn't know what to do either, so he's happy to wait. Also, the other woman has 3 children from a previous relationship, and he was worried that she would refuse him being in their lives once he confronted her because he's not the father. We kept in touch, however. He called me a few times a week, and soon we started to talk about other things other than our failed marriages. Afterwards, we started going for walks, coffees, movies, etc. I found myself thinking about him more often with a smile on my face. He was the first thing I thought of in the morning and the last thing I thought of before going to bed. For the last 3 to 4 months, we probably mentioned our spouses once or twice. We talked about everything else, and he always makes me laugh. He thinks I'm funny too. 2 weeks ago, we were having a picnic and he just blurted out, I think that I'm in love with you. When he then explained himself, it just drove the point home that I am also in love with him. He said that at first he wasn't sure why he was feeling like this towards me and explained it away as 2 jilted people finding comfort in each other. But then he realized he wasn't broken anymore. That he even thinks his wife's infidelity as a blessing because it led him to me. That's exactly how I felt too. I didn't know what to say. I told him that I'm terrified that these are false feelings that will go away once we freed ourselves from those who hurt us. He just beamed at me and said he was willing to take the risk just to find out. He kissed my hand because I thought we were still married, and if we did something, then how would we be better than our SOs? I don't know what to do now. I find myself daydreaming about him, about introducing him to my daughter, kiss him, wake up next to him every morning. I still have 1 semester left and then I'm probably going to find a job. I've already had some offers for when I'm finished with my studies. I've thanked Jay so many times for being so patient with me about everything. I appreciate that he's waiting for me to put my life in order before we expose our spouses, who aren't really seeing each other as often as they used to do. He told me he's happy to help and he just wants a real kiss as a thank you when everything is over. My goal is now to secure my job and leave this marriage. Am I pathetic for wanting to give Jay and I a shot to see where it would go? Can 2 broken hearts really find happiness together when their love story started like ours? And we do have a couple of updates on this post. We're going to start off with some advice from the comments, starting with Lemon67, who says, go for it. I would love to see both of their faces when they find out you 2 are together. Why worry about them? They weren't their SO when they were having an affair. And OP responded saying, is it a good sign that I actually don't care what they do or how they react? I've stopped having revenge ideas in my head months ago. I just want to move on and provide a good life for my daughter because she's my world. And she's been the only bright thing in my life since I found out about my husband. Jay is now also a bright spot in my life, but mostly my daughter. Tesla Coil says you are absolutely not pathetic, and I think it's wonderful. Something beautiful came out of a horrible situation. It's definitely complicated though and won't be easy, so I wish you luck. I hope it works out, OP. OP responded saying the thing I dread the most is people around me start thinking less of me, like I'm being petty or trying to get my revenge. But I'm genuinely in love with Jay, and I have been for months now. I haven't seen him since he confessed that he also has feelings for me. It felt like if we continued seeing each other, it would be cheating, and I don't want that. But we still talk on the phone and text, trying to keep it to the minimum though. Both feel that we know where we have each other and we could just wait. Holy Fudge says, how long is your semester? I need an update on this, lol. Their faces are going to be priceless. But to give you advice, put yourself into therapy and offer the same advice to your hopefully future and last husband. It will help you both. Individual therapy for both of you. Not saying your feelings aren't real, but dealing with other issues will help make it more clear and help you realize where you stand and what you both want. If you two give this a try, then you don't want to take this unresolved trauma and baggage into this new beautiful beginning. The baggage and trust issues will always be there, but with therapy, you both will learn to navigate them healthily and maturely. Another thing, take it slowly. Just not for you two, but for the kids involved. I don't have to say this, but focus on your career and make yourself financially independent. Also, your daughter is going to find out about the drama when you divorce either way, so keep the therapy lined up for her. Good luck, and I hope you have a great love story. Wishing you all the happiness. Good luck. Mrs. Happy says this is an oddly adorable love story. I'm sorry your spouse has hurt you, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise, like Jay mentioned. The fact that you two haven't done anything physical despite your partners being heartless assholes is the best part to me. I say fuck it, give them a try once you are single. I just ask that you take things slow as far as introducing the kids and living arrangements. I truly hope this is a happy ending for you, OP. And one more from Kidney Probs who says definitely use your husband's infidelity to maximize your potential in custody battle for your daughter. You are not crazy for being in love with Jay. He was kind, patient, caring, and mostly he understood exactly what you were going through. Life is too short to worry about what other people think. Keep talking to Jay like normal, and once your divorce is settled, give it a real shot with him. You deserve better than what your current husband gave you. You and Jay deserve to love each other. Good luck. And I guess a lot of comments already said what I said. I just felt a little bit more cautious than some of them, I guess. I think OP and Jay absolutely deserve love and deserve to love each other if that's what's going to happen. But my concern is, with everything going on already, that it might be quite easy to just fall into each other's arms just like that. And to me, it doesn't feel like, although, it doesn't feel like it's a good time to be doing it whilst you're still with your partners. Divorce them, get rid of them. And then, like people were saying, give it a shot. And the comment about therapy, absolutely, especially when there's children involved at the same time. But let's move on to OP's first update to find out what happened next. And the next update came in entitled, Jay and I have decided not to see each other anymore. Again, this is not an update, kind of is, since nothing new has happened in my life. But I've been feeling so down lately and my emotions are all over the place. Hopefully this post will help me sort out my feelings. I'm sorry if you find it confusing, but this is how I'm feeling right now. Confusion. Also, I'm sorry, but it's going to be long and bumpy ride like my last one. I'm still busy with my studies, especially now so close to the holidays. Thereafter, I'm going to have a break until January 16th and the start of my last semester. I got 2 job offers, one with unpaid internship starting in April. I like this job very much, since I will be working from my laptop most of the days, and the other one is more of an office job but with better pay. I don't know how the custody arrangement is going to be, but I feel like a job with more flexible hours is a better fit for me. The reason why I'm writing now is that Jay and I met yesterday. If you remember my last, we decided not to see each other, at least not as often since the I love you talk. We did good at keeping that promise, but we still saw each other once since I wrote here, and we continued texting and calling each other on a daily basis. Yesterday we met on Jay's initiative. When I got to the park to our usual meeting spot, Jay was already there. He had flowers, coffee and cake. And I love cake. Who doesn't? And he told me that we're going to have a literal celebration. He said that today was the day we first met a year ago. Yes, it was. I remember that day very well. It was raining then too, but it was much gloomier. I remembered how broken and desperate I was. The feeling that my world had ended. We talked a lot about the progress we made and how much stronger we both felt now. He told me he loved me and it was all I could do not to just fuck everything and jump into his arms. He's so lovely. When I got home, my husband had already picked up our daughter and they were just joking around and having fun. I felt so much sadness and pure horror building up inside of me. What am I doing? What are we doing? All of us. The guilt that washed over me seeing my daughter's happy face playing around with her food. I couldn't take it. My husband and the other woman haven't texted at all this month, and they haven't met either, or at least as far as Jay and I know. Of course, they work together, so we don't know if the affair has subsided or that they have just learned to be more cautious, but my husband has been more attentive at home, warmer and more present. He says he loves me all the time and that he misses me. I haven't been intimate with him since I found out about the affair, and even the smallest touch from him irks me, and any beautiful word or compliment from him sets my teeth on edge. I just want to scream liar, and I feel like I'm cheating on Jay and accepting my husband's affection, and the disdain for myself becomes unbearable. Make this make sense, please. I looked at my husband and tried to remember what I loved about him, but I couldn't. All I could see is his text to her about how great last time was and what he wanted to do to her next. All the things he once said he wanted to do and did to me that made me feel so special. I tried to think harder about the love, but all I saw was Jay's face. I felt immense rage and hatred towards my husband, but also towards myself and Jay. My husband because he broke us and brought this mess upon us, and myself because I felt that I wasn't trying hard enough with my heart occupied with someone else. Have I just given up so easily because I love Jay and my daughter? She is the one who's going to pay the hard price of seeing her home break because daddy is selfish, greedy cheater, and mummy isn't trying hard enough to save her marriage when she is pining for another man. I couldn't control my feelings of anger and resentment and guilt, so I wrote Jay a long text telling him this and more. He tried to call me, but I couldn't answer him. My heart was swollen in my throat. I told my husband that I wanted to sleep in my daughter's room tonight, something I've been doing a lot since this started. I cried all night watching her beautiful face, so peaceful and happy. This morning, Jay called me again and we talked for over an hour. He was very subdued and I heard the fear in his voice. He told me that he respected my wishes in taking a break from each other, but also to remember that even when I'm at my weakest, I still knew exactly what I wanted, and that I chose to stay to secure a future for myself and my daughter. You're too close now to your goal just to stumble and fall. He said he loved me and that he never felt like this before, and that he will wait. I cried for a good hour afterwards, already missing his voice. I know that my marriage is unsalvageable and I'm doing the right thing leaving it, even with a nagging feeling of guilt that's simmering beneath the surface, boiling over every now and then, waking me up at night, but I need to do this alone now. I want to look back with no regrets. The guilt's probably never going to go away entirely, but at least it won't have Jay's face now that he's not in the picture anymore. So that's what's been up with my life. I told you that it wasn't an update really, and I'm sorry that it's long and confusing, but that's all I have right now. Edit. I am not staying in my marriage. I don't know if my English is this bad or if people don't bother reading long boring rants. I apologize for both, but I'm flawed because of the amount of comments and attacks on me as a person and a mother for staying with my cheating husband. Please tell me, where did I say I was staying? I broke it off with Jay, yes, but it wasn't because I'm going back with my husband. Again, where did I write that I was staying with my husband? Update 2, which came around 20 or so days later, which is titled, Jay has now left his wife. A short update. Hi everyone, I know, I had a dramatic episode last time I was here and swore not to update again, but I'm a woman, I can change my mind if I want to. Last time I was overwhelmed by the amount of comments and messages about being a bad mother and I just couldn't take it, so I freaked out on you, but today I have a little update. It's not about me, it's about Jay. Jay's mum is sick. She lives in another city about 7 or 8 hours drive away. Jay went to visit her and he texted me before going. He apologized for texting me because we weren't supposed to keep in touch anymore, but he wanted to let me know he was out of town. I drove over there on Thursday because it sounded like it was serious. I arrived to the hospital around noon. He looked miserable. His mother isn't even old, she is 58. My heart is breaking. I could only stay for an hour before heading back home. I feel so guilty leaving him alone. His sisters live across the world and they won't be able to fly home before Christmas. On Friday, Jay came home and broke off his marriage. I don't know all the details, but he didn't mention to her that he knew about her infidelity, just that he wasn't happy anymore and didn't want to be married to her. He texted me and thanked me for visiting him and his mother and told me about him filing for a divorce from his wife. He's moving back to his hometown to be with his mother. He left yesterday, but he will be back once more to get the rest of his stuff. Even though I understand him, and even if I wasn't seeing him anymore, the city feels empty and gloomy without him. OP updates one more time, which comes over a month later, which says, I've told my husband that I know about his affair, and I've been working towards leaving him for the past year. Hi Ken. I'm sorry I deleted my account. I'm very new to this and I just couldn't handle the criticism I was getting, so I deleted my account. I've understood now that the internet doesn't owe me politeness and people will say their opinion because I put myself out there, and that makes it, I guess, okay for people to say hurtful things because I chose to share my story. I've learned that I could deactivate all private communication, so if you have something nasty to say, be brave and put it in the comments instead. Although I'm hoping for a less amount of negative comments this time, since people were mainly angry that I was taking my time to leave my husband. Thankfully, while my account is deleted, I still, with some digging, found my original posts. I've included them here to those who haven't followed my story. I'm still going strong with my studies, and as I said, I've secured a job in April with a decent salary that will increase with 30% once I graduate 2 months later. I've also signed a lease on an apartment that is a few blocks away from my daughter's school. You can't imagine the happiness I was in when I found the apartment, but most importantly that they accepted my bad credit, having not had income for over 2 years now. My job contract and reference was enough, and I have to pay for 3 months ahead. I get the keys April 1st too. I still need to talk to a lawyer. I just don't want to throw my money before it is getting closer, and I need the help. I have found a non-profit organization for women that I can call and ask for information and advice. I'm not really in an abusive marriage, but they have experience of all sorts of marital and divorce problems. As I stated, since I found out that my husband was cheating on me, our sex life died. In the beginning, my husband didn't seem to bother about it probably, though certainly because he had someone else. Someone new, but with time, it has been over a year now, and God, it has been the longest and yet shortest year of my life. With time, he started to show me affection again, trying to get intimate with me. I avoided him like the plague. He never pressured me, but he was getting upset and I felt him getting frustrated. I think his affair had died out by then, or maybe it wasn't as fun and as exciting for them. I don't know. I'm not an expert on affairs. For over 2 months now, he's been trying to open the subject of our non-existent sex life, but I just told him that I didn't have a drive or that I was busy. This being my last year of studies. I've been able to keep him at bay, and while my explanations and excuses weren't making him happy, they were good enough to keep him away. That is until about a week ago when he wanted to discuss this seriously. I told him again that I was busy and that my sex drive is very low. It is. He said that it wasn't just the sex. We had no intimacy. He barely is allowed to be near me. I never talk to him anymore, like I don't make an effort anymore. I asked him if we could just wait until after the holidays because I'm too busy and I didn't want to ruin it for our daughter who loves Christmas. He then said something that triggered every nerve on my body. Something like it was not healthy for a marriage when one partner neglects the other because then you start looking somewhere else. I just said that it wasn't true because he started sleeping with her name way before I started neglecting him. He was in total shock. First he tried to know more. Maybe he misheard me. Then he started to deny it. Then made excuses, then started apologizing. Then he started asking for details on what my plans were. When I told him about me getting a job in an apartment, he started pleading to try and hold me. Now this past week, he's tried to talk to me every day, and I've been calm with him. He had so many questions why I didn't tell him before. At least he could have explained. She meant nothing to him. The relationship ended. He had no feelings for her. It was just physical. He loved me and nobody else. Think about our daughter. He regretted what he did, and that's why he ended it. Why was I not more upset? I told him that I had mourned for us for a year, and I'm over it now. He still thought this was unfair because this is all new to him. I told him about my job, my new place, and I asked him to be patient with me and to think about our daughter and put her first in whatever is coming. He was so angry by that and told me that if I thought about our daughter for a second, I would have confronted him there and then. Be honest. We could have tried to fix it with therapy and some efforts because he never loved anyone like he does me, and he would drop everything else to try and make it right with me. But I chose secrecy, plotting and planning my life without him while pretending everything was fine. Did I though? I started crying and begged him that however angry he is with me, not to take it out in a way that affects our daughter. I told him that I did all of this for her. I didn't want her to see us fight. I didn't want to leave without having the means to offer her a good life. Now he is so angry with me all the time. He barely looks my way. He's still sweet with our daughter though, and that is comforting. I sleep in my daughter's room most nights. I never meant for it to blow up this soon, but you can spend your whole time planning and preparing the perfect exit, but life has never been predictable. I don't regret my outburst. Maybe it was time anyway. I'll continue communicating with him about the importance of staying civil to each other. He's angry now and he feels cheated and deceived, and I get all that, but I need him to put aside the hurt and think of our daughter, just like I did. And just like I did, he will get over the pain in time. Sorry again for the long post and for the grammar. Edit, Jay is in the process of divorce too. He's moved back to his hometown because his mother is very ill, I'm afraid. His sisters live in Australia, but they have both come home, so it feels good that he and his mother are not alone. I have visited them 3 times since I heard the sad news, but he lives far away, so I haven't been able to stay for long periods to support them. We talk over the phone every morning though, and he is devastated. Edit 2, no, I haven't told my husband about Jay, nor am I gonna. If by chance Jay and I end up getting together, everyone will know, including my husband, but we are not willing to tell my husband or anybody about how Jay and I met. We've decided that long ago when we were dreaming about our future together that we wouldn't tell our exes how we met. It is for the best for everyone involved. I'm keeping this promise. It is nobody's business but ours. We don't know what the future holds. Jay lives in another town, 8 hours drive away. We haven't talked about us in ages. We have a lot going on in our lives separately. All I care about now is his mum doing better, or at least not suffer. I had to go back and read that last update afterwards because the absolute cheeky bastard getting angry at OP because she didn't confront him earlier and said, if you thought about our daughter, you would have confronted me earlier and be honest about it. Oh, don't get me started. Accusing OP of plotting behind his back. This dude's been cheating behind her back all this time. And I've got to say, I'm sorry that OP was getting shitty comments from people about it, about staying with this person. I think it's very easy to say, you know, you need to leave this person immediately and you're an idiot for hanging around with this person for so long, when that's just not the case. It's so many different moving parts in a relationship that you have to deal with. It's not simply up and leave immediately. She explained how she's worried about the custody, the finances, her daughter, the feelings for Jay going on in the background. It's not just, you know, all black and white. And I know some people will always say, yes, it absolutely is, and you should leave immediately, but I just don't feel it's that way. Dealing with emotions, dealing with love is incredibly difficult, especially what's been going on in OP's life here. She's been cheated on, she found out, it's all in the background. She's trying to deal with her studies at the same time, her daughter, worried about custody. There's just so much going on in one story. How do you navigate something like that? And I personally feel that OP is dealing with it to the best of her ability at the moment. Yes, she had the outburst. Who wouldn't have an outburst when he's saying this shit to you to your face? And it might have been the best course of action at that moment in time. But all I can say to OP is I really do wish you the best for your future, and I hope things do work out. Whatever happens with Jay, if you have a relationship or not, or if it just turns into a good friendship, I wish you all the best. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you. Goodbye, and much love, of course.